In Kuwait City, a broadcast recently interrupted daily life for 5 million residents. The government issued an emergency SOS, instructing everyone to step inside and seal their doors and windows against a potential radioactive leak. This map shows exactly why Kuwait is on high alert. A narrow stretch of the Persian Gulf is all that separates Kuwait City from Iran's western coastline and the Bushehr nuclear power plant. Military forces from the United States and Israel have launched multiple highly targeted missile strikes directly at the perimeter of the Bushehr facility. These strikes prompted an immediate warning from the IAEA. The International Atomic Energy Agency is the United Nations central watchdog for nuclear safety. They made it clear that a containment breach here would blanket the entire region in radiation. The attackers are not trying to accidentally cause a meltdown. The strikes are a calculated, deliberate pressure campaign designed to terrify the engineers inside the plant and force them to abandon their posts. To understand why the staff is being targeted, we have to look back to the 1990s. At that time, Russia struck a deal to take control of the Bushehr plant, moving hundreds of their own highly trained scientists into Iran to operate the facility. Today, the facility is managed entirely by Rosatom. Rosatom is the Russian state corporation headquartered in Moscow that controls all of the country's nuclear energy and weapons programs. Until recently, they maintained nearly 1,000 Russian nationals on site. Western intelligence agencies track these technicians as a strategic vulnerability. The presence of Russian staff provides Moscow with a massive soft intelligence footprint right on the Persian Gulf, allowing them to monitor military movements across the water. Bushehr operates as a highly effective dual-purpose asset. It generates civilian electricity for Iran, while actively anchoring Russia's spy network in the Middle East. This Russian intelligence hub directly enabled what is known as Operation Hidden Hand. Operation Hidden Hand is a covert intelligence sharing alliance where Russia and China secretly supply military data to Tehran. By processing high-resolution satellite imagery and targeting data, Iranian forces gained the ability to precision strike highly guarded locations, including massive United States aircraft carrier groups stationed nearby. Supplied with fresh data and advanced weaponry from their global allies, Iran rapidly escalated its bombing campaigns against American and Israeli targets across the region. This visual comparison shows one of the leaders directing the retaliation, Joe Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu. Both administrations identified the Bushehr plant as the single pressure point where they could hurt both Iran and Russia simultaneously. Instead of solely attacking Iranian military bases, they shifted their crosshairs to the nuclear plant. They deliberately chose to impose a massive, undeniable cost on Russia for its role in Operation Hidden Hand. They are using a tactic that functions essentially as a severe warning shot. By dropping precision missiles near the plant's perimeter, the military guarantees a panic-driven evacuation of the Russian staff. The tactic is working. Rosatom officially confirmed they have initiated multiple waves of emergency evacuations, pulling their personnel completely out of the facility to escape the barrage. By terrifying the engineers into leaving, the attackers systematically strip the reactor of its human shield. Without those specific Russian technicians, the plant loses its only operational damage control mechanism. If a subsequent strike heavily damages the reactor core after the Russian operators have fled, the facility will have 0 experts remaining to initiate containment protocols. An unstaffed, heavily damaged nuclear plant cannot be stabilized. The reactor would enter an unstoppable meltdown sequence, venting massive amounts of radioactive material directly into the atmosphere. This map projects the potential fallout. Prevailing winds push the radioactive plume across the Persian Gulf, directly into Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The contamination then blankets the Strait of Hormuz, forcing a total closure of the shipping lane and crippling the global oil supply. In the struggle between global superpowers, the local populations are collateral damage. Millions of civilians in the Middle East now find themselves trapped in the fallout zone of an engineered nuclear crisis.